Alrighty, so today we're going to change the throttle body in my 2014 Jeep Patriot. So the issue started with my vehicle going into limp mode. And I went ahead and scanned the codes. It came back my throttle body. And this is the second time that I've had a throttle body code. The first time we cleaned it up and it was good for about 6 months. Came back on. So we're going to start by removing this housing and everything for the air box. And then we're going to remove the battery and this hose, and the throttle body is on the bottom side of that hose there. So we're going to start with a 10mm and disconnect the negative terminal and then the positive terminal and pull this battery out, just so we can get some room to get down in there. That's the back of the throttle body right there. So I will see what all I need to remove. I've seen a bunch of other videos. I think I'm going to leave this in. It's the radiator hose. Just remove the battery and stuff so I can get access down there. It's 4 bolts to disconnect the throttle body. So we've got the battery disconnected. I also disconnected the MAF sensor here, which is fairly simple. You're just going to pull this red tab up towards you, and then there's a little button here. You're going to press the little tab behind the red thing and pull it right off, and we can just set that out of the way because I am going to have to take this air hose off. Alright, now that I've got the battery removed and the MAF sensor unplugged, I'm going to loosen this up and take this air hose off. Hopefully I have room to get down here. I can see 2 of the bolts for the throttle body. I'm hoping once I get this air hose removed and everything unplugged, I'll have room to get in there. So it's kind of hard to see from the top side, but I've got this loosened and pulled off now. If you look down in here, there is another little screw right there to disconnect that side. So we're going to get that one undone and hopefully pull this off and be able to access the throttle body there. Alright, so since I was able to get that undone and this air hose pulled off, we can see the throttle body perfectly, and there's 4 bolts on it. Don't forget to disconnect the wires that are stuck onto the air hose. I kind of just ripped it out, but didn't hurt nothing, no harm, no foul. So now we're going to go at it and remove all 4 of these bolts. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I believe that's a 10mm. Oh, and we're also going to unplug right here for the electronic throttle body controls. Let me see here. I think I can get it from right here. There's just 2 tabs on either side of this. You squeeze and you should be able to pull that right out. Alright, so I've got all of the bolts loosened all the way, and I pulled this bolt out. You can see there's a little bracket right there. Let's see if I can get a better view. This little bracket right here, I'm going to see if I can finagle this throttle body out of there without removing this bracket. Hopefully I can. I just, less things to take apart and put back together. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these 4 bolts now. There's 2 and 3 and this 4th one up here. Let's see if I can get to it. Alrighty, so the throttle body is loose, and I'm going to go ahead and pull that off, and I'll take a shot of that. Right, so after looking at it, I'm not going to be able to leave this bracket on. There's a little notch right there that's holding the throttle body in place. So I'm going to have to remove that, and then I can pull the throttle body out. Alright, so I got that bracket off, and the throttle body kind of just flopped right off. Go figure. It's got no bolts holding it in. So I'm going to pull this out of here now. Here is our old throttle body. And of course, there is a gasket on there. We gotta make sure we take that off. When I purchased the throttle body from AutoZone, it did not come with a gasket, so I had to purchase that separately. It was only like $3 though, so let's see what we've got. Alright, so here is our new throttle body. I'm just going to position it the way it's going to go in. It does come with instructions, which is kind of important because unlike when I was taking it off, they want you to torque it down in sequence. So you're going to start with this one, this one, this one, and then this one. And of course, like I mentioned, want to take off that old gasket down there, and I've got a replacement gasket here. Another cool thing about the little instructions here, it gives you the relearn process because it is electronic. So when I get this all installed, I'll have to follow these steps here, make sure I clear the codes with the scan tool to relearn the new throttle body. Alright, so I removed the old gasket here. I'm gonna put the new one in. Of course, make sure you're, not dropping stuff down in there. Try to keep it clean as possible. I am gonna clean up the edges here a little bit too. Get this in there. Alright, so I've got the new throttle body set in place, and I put one bolt on the bottom side here just to hold it in place, because that bracket I was hoping I wouldn't have to take off, that I did have to take off, now goes on there like so, and then the bolts go through the bracket. So I will get all of that on there finger tight and then torque it down according to specifications. So I got the bracket in place and all of the bolts are in and just finger tight. So now I'm going to start tightening them down according to sequence, as you can see here. Okay, we got all the bolts tightened down. Now we're going to put the air hose back on and reconnect all the wires. First thing we're going to plug back in is the electronic control for the throttle body. And that goes right down here. Make sure it snaps in all the way. That's good. Then I should be good to get that air hose back on. So in order to get this in, you got to go around the upper radiator hose here. We're just going to pull it down. It's important to get it in between these hoses and wires for the battery. There we go. And once you get it on there, we're going to take that stubby screwdriver and tighten it up. So, scratch that. My husband so kindly pointed out to me that I can fit an 8mm on there. So now I'm going to go back down to tighten the bottom one with a ratchet and an 8mm instead of my stubby screwdriver, because that was taking some time. Okay, so I've got the bottom of the air hose tightened up. Now I'm going to reconnect it to the air box up here. Wait, hold that. Thank you. Get this stuff out of the way. There. And get this bad boy tightened up. Of course, don't forget to plug your mass airflow sensor back in. That away, when it clicks down, push the red tab down. Now I'm going to tighten that one up. Alright, so throttle body is in. I've got all the connectors back in place. Put this little wiring harness back on the air hose. Air hose is tightened down. MAF sensors in. Now we're going to put the battery back in, and then we will follow these Chrysler throttle body relearn procedures. Alright, we've got the battery in. Everything's reconnected. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on. That's the last piece we're going to do under the hood. Now we're going to go into the car and do this relearn process. The procedure for the relearn process. We're going to insert the ignition key and turn on, but do not start. Wait for all of the lights on the dash to go out. Check engine light may remain on. Slowly depress the accelerated pedal all the way to the floor. Hold to the floor for about 3 seconds. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Slowly release the accelerated pedal until it's all the way back up. Turn the ignition key to off. And then start the engine. It says, note you will likely need to repeat this procedure anytime the battery is disconnected. Important, use scan tool to clear all fault codes, then perform the ETC relearn function. A scan tool may be used to learn electronic parameters, blah, 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 blah. Judging by my dash, I don't think I'm going to need to do all that. All my trouble codes seem to have gone away, so I think we're good to go.